NARP, come watch, it's time, set the clock. Hitting like Ray off the block. Feel like MJ with the rock. Home run like Sammy Sosa. 2 clutch last period. Get ready, set, go. This a NARP experience. It's a NARP experience. It's a NARP experience. It's a NARP experience. It's a NARP experience.
Welcome back to the NARP experiment. Decker, we had some awesome NFL divisional playoff games this weekend. 8 teams were left. 4 will be moving on. First up, we had the Los Angeles Rams losing to the Green Bay Packers 32-18. And just my early thoughts on this game. It was a very close one here in the first quarter. The Rams were putting up a fight. The offense was kind of moving the ball. And then shortly after that, Aaron Rodgers just turned into the MVP candidate he is as of right now, and kind of just led his team to the victory. The Rams kept inching back, but Aaron and co was too much for the Rams. I know Aaron Donald was battling with some rib issues, and he was giving his all out there, and you could see it on his face at the end of the game. What a good run the Rams had here in the playoffs, but just not enough. They lost once again, 32-18. What'd you see out there in that game?
The Rams just couldn't move the ball. They couldn't move the ball when they needed to. They didn't get any really chunk plays, so that hurt them. I think Cooper Kupp being out hurt them a lot more than anticipated. So you definitely would like to see more than 18 points. And the Packers' defense definitely has not been smothering this year, so there's no excuse for that. I mean, you could point to Kupp being out, you could point to Goff's finger, but at the end of the day, they still should have been able to score more than 18 points. And the Packers look good. They look like they could get to the Super Bowl. I mean, obviously, there's only 4 teams left, so they only have to win 1 game, but if their defense is getting pressure like they did last game, then they're going to give Tom a problem. So
yeah,
and to touch on, we'll get more to that after we talk about the Bucs game actually. But yeah, Rodgers looked good. They definitely moved the ball a lot better than the Rams did. They got chunk plays and they just did what they did. They took care of business first game.
Yeah.
Wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't really an exciting game to watch.
No.
I'm sure if you're a Packers fan, you beg to differ. But, yeah, pretty much the injury to Goff and Kupp and Donald, too, just were too much for the Rams to overcome this year. So they'll have to go back to the drawing board and see what they're going to do going forward. I know they had a lot of money spent on this team.
Yeah, a lot of inconsistencies.
I know. Some people are talking about, do they move off from Goff? Well, that is a humongous decision to make. I'd hate to have to make that choice, but
right.
Going forward, we'll have to see about that.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
the second game. Do you have any other final thoughts?
I was just gonna say Rodgers and Devontae Adams just continue to thrive out there. Their chemistry is awesome, and yeah, like you said, it just seems like when their defense is putting pressure like that, and all you have to do is ask Aaron to go out there and make a few plays. I mean, it looks like they're going to be a tough team to beat, and they just have all the momentum right now, and it seems like Aaron Rodgers is on a mission. So that's just my last note.
Yeah,
but
you're not going to beat Aaron Rodgers with 18 points.
No,
you're probably going to have to get 30 plus just to get the job done on them at least. So
right.
Next up, we had probably the most hyped game of the whole weekend. And the Ravens and the Bills on Saturday night. And I know you yourself are you're part of the mafia a little bit. It's not your true allegiance, but you are part of the mafia.
Got a strong place in my heart, no doubt about that.
So that game was closer than the score says. The Ravens threw it away. They quite literally threw it away with a pick six in the red zone.
Right.
And neither team really could get anything going. Two great defenses. Offensively, they both struggled all game. I didn't see it being this low scoring, but I knew that the defenses would both play pretty well for each team, and I knew that it wouldn't be some crazy high scoring game because these teams just don't want to play that way. I mean, the Bills can, but the Ravens, it's the Ravens. I mean, until they prove otherwise, it's their defense shows up every Sunday. So, yeah, you got any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, the game was way closer than the score showed. That pick six kind of drained the momentum because the Ravens were cruising that drive, and it looked like they were going to score. And of course, Lamar just made a bad read. You're looking at a 101-yard pick six that just kind of transformed the game. And then, of course, Lamar goes out shortly after with the concussion. But it was a really close game. Two defenses battling it out. We knew that's what it was going to come down to. And we're looking for the run game with both teams. But the Bills just made the plays when they needed to. You continue to see the chemistry with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Those two seem like they're best friends, and they're going to be in a tandem for a long time to come out there in the AFC. So, but yeah, and just want to give a quick shout out to the Bills Mafia. You hate to see a football player of someone's caliber like Lamar Jackson go down, but the fact that I think I read, but I believe I read over $250,000 was donated to Lamar's favorite charity, all by Bills fans, just because they were devastated at him going down in such a close game. You want to see the best of the best playing in these moments, and you could see the Bills Mafia rally together and donated to him for a great cause, something he's very passionate about, and it just kind of shows what Bills fans are all about. And yeah, once again, they got a strong place in my heart. I love that city.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here on that one.
Go for it.
I don't think that the Bills fans are doing that out of the kindness of their hearts as much as I think they're doing it to troll.
Nah. I mean,
we all know you're a little biased because you are a Bills fan. You're part of the mafia, but we all know the Bills fans love to troll. We know that we know their attitude, their personality. They're not too friendly up there in Western New York. It's cold. They're rotten. They're angry all the time.
They're blue collar, no doubt, but like
it's the same thing as when they donated to Dalton after he beat the Ravens a couple of years ago, and it got the Bills into the playoffs.
Well, that was a different story. It got them into the playoffs.
You go to a Bills game. You go to a Bills game wearing the opponent's jersey. You're getting heckled all game.
No doubt about it. Yeah, but you also want to see Lamar versus Josh Allen. You don't want to see this undrafted rookie go out there and play against you. You want to see the best of the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You do, but the Bills fandom knew it. They know what they're doing. Yes, some of them are doing it out of the kindness, and yes, it is for a good cause, so you can't bash it. But you can't tell me that there's not a good majority, or at least a good chunk, of the Bills fans donating the $8 to that foundation to troll and to tell their friends, oh, I donated to it, and get the laughs. Because you know that they are. That's the world we live in today.
I get what you're saying.
So who cares what the reason is?
Right.
I'm not knocking it.
Right. I get what you're saying. There's two sides to it all.
We know those rotten Western New Yorkers. We know what they're thinking when they're donating that $8. We know it.
Well, it went a long way, and shout out to them because it sure did help out Lamar's charity. So whether it was what you say it was or what I'm saying it was, at the end of the day, they raised a hell of a lot of money. And he was taking pictures with those fans after the game. So, to each his own on that thought. But moving on to the Sunday's games, we had Kansas City just eclipse.
I wonder if the Bills are going to donate $15 to the Mahomes Foundation after he sends them packing.
We'll see about that. We had Kansas City beat the Browns 22-17. This game was actually, I don't want to say it was just as close as the score says it is. At one point, it seemed like Kansas City, they were up 19-3 at halftime, and it was all Browns the second half. But we also saw another injury sustained with Patrick Mahomes, him going down as well with a concussion. Both his and Lamar Jackson's were pretty scary looking. And you kind of just hope, for the best moving forward, because once again, you want to see Patrick Mahomes help lead this team against the Buffalo Bills next week. And, it's just a tough outing, but they were able to come through and get the win. What are your thoughts on that game? What do you think from watching?
I thought there'd be more points scored for sure. The
Browns defense wasn't bad. It looked good at times, like for sure.
Yeah.
They put a lot of pressure.
No, I really thought that the Chiefs would score more than 22 points, and yeah, Mahomes went out for the last quarter of the game, I believe. So they didn't score after that, but I thought there'd be more points on both sides. The game was closer than I thought it would be. I thought that the Chiefs would win by more.
The backup, Chad Henne,
The
made.
Chiefs are just tough to beat, man. They're tough to beat. Especially when their defensive line gets going. It's tough to beat them because you're gonna have to throw the ball to take them out.
Right.
So,
I was gonna say
unfortunately,
the backup.
unfortunately for the Browns, they couldn't get out to a lead and run the Chiefs into the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their running backs had 5 yards of carry, so they were running it effectively. It just you can't pound dirt the whole game when you're playing the Chiefs.
Right.
They didn't even get out to that big of a lead. I mean, the Browns scored 14 points in the last 2 quarters, so it definitely was a. I think if Mahomes stayed in, I don't know that it would have been this close. I think the scoreboard would have looked a lot different.
Yeah, I mean,
in fact, I think it would have been we could have looked at a 30-10 game, but the last few plays of the game or what everyone is going to be talking about, and that was Henne winning the game.
Yep.
Henne literally kept the Chiefs playoffs. I mean, I don't know if the Browns would have scored if they got the ball back, but they would have had good field position right there. Had Henne not run for that 15 yards?
It's like about a 15-yard.
Like
it was about a 15-yard scramble, and they called him short. It looked like he got the first, but they called him short. And then we saw Andy Reid make just pull out his big kahunas and make a crazy play call on 4th down. But he knew exactly what he was doing, and he got it to his playmaker in Tyreek Hill, and that solidified the win. So that play was crazy. And of course, shout out to Chad Henne for being a backup but making a play and putting his body on the line. That was really nice to see.
Yeah, the dog pound will be back next year, I think. I think they'll be back. I think they've got a recipe for success there in Cleveland, and they will. I do picture them being in the playoffs again, but the Chiefs move on, so we'll talk about their matchup next week more. I already hinted at it a little bit how I feel it'll go. Mm-hmm. And then the last game of the weekend, we had the Bucs and the Saints, the dinosaurs facing off, Drew versus Tom. Probably their last time they're going to play each other, and we all figured it'd be the last time they'd play each other on this type of stage anyway. So, but this might be Brees' last game, obviously, with the loss. But this game went about how I expected. I was surprised that the Saints were favorited just because the Bucs have looked on fire the past couple of weeks. I mean, they were a little disappointing against the Redskins, but other than that, they were
football
blowing
team,
the doors
football
off teams,
team,
including my rise
team.
up Atlanta Falcons.
Not the Redskins anymore. We call them the football team.
Oh, yep, the football team. Shout out to Al Michaels. I heard him do that the other night too, and
it's all right.
I don't understand how they don't do it more. But
honest mistake.
Yeah, the Buccaneers blew the doors off him. I mean, really, it wasn't even the Bucs' offense. It was just Drew Brees just throwing bad throws and just some untimely turnovers, just setting the Bucs up for really short fields the whole game. They didn't really have to do much to score all their points, and you're just not going to beat Tom Brady doing that. He's going to capitalize, and he did. And yeah, it was Drew Brees' last game. It should be his last game because he's washed, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, probably, arguably.
Yeah.
Statistically, he is for sure, but yeah, the Saints are looking at cap hell for the next few years. So this might be their last go around in this spot that they're in right now. So
yeah,
we'll see if Jameis Winston can make some magic happen the next couple of years. But they don't really have any money to improve the roster, and they don't really have draft capital either, or not what you'd like.
Right,
not enough capital. So
speaking of Jameis,
the Bucs move on. I mean,
speaking of Jameis making plays. How about that touchdown he threw? I mean, what a play call. I saw about 3 defenders go over to Alvin Kamara on that play, and and they just left, I believe it was Traquan Smith with the touchdown, just wide open. I mean, it was easy play for Jameis, but you knew that Sean Payton and co were setting that up, of course, for James to do that against his former team. But yeah, just to piggyback off what you said, I mean, Drew Brees throwing in 3 interceptions. That's just, I mean, yeah, Drew Brees, we've clearly seen a decline over the last couple seasons, but that's just not him. I actually think there's a world where he will come back, because I'm sure he didn't want to have his last game be like that. And I know no one asks for your last game to be anyway. You don't expect it to be a certain way. You envision it in your mind, but I'm sure that's not how he wants to go out. I can see that.
I don't think that's how he wants it to be, but I don't think he's got a choice at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, if they come back here, they scrape tooth and nail next year, it could be even worse. I mean, 3 picks might not be, but
right.
they at least put up somewhat of a fight. I mean, at the rate he's declining, it's
yeah. No, I get it. No, trust me, I get it.
The Saints are in a rough spot.
No, it's
just unfortunate. Honestly, it is. Just quick. It's unfortunate because I hate to say it, but I see a lot of Matt Ryan and Drew Brees in terms that they're elite quarterbacks, and they've had no help their whole careers on the defensive side of the ball.
Right.
And the Saints finally got somewhat of a defense.
And it almost feels too late. Right. Just seems it's a little too late. Yeah.
And if that's what happens to my boy Matty Ice, I'll never forgive the Falcons, and I will be a football free agent in the year 2024.
I highly doubt it. You're not going nowhere. You're staying with them birds. You know you are. But yeah, no. Yeah, once again, yeah, the Saints just kind of put the Bucs in position to win that game. I mean, they gave them a lot of chances, especially on their side of the field. So it's kind of, I wouldn't say it was easy for Tom and co, but it definitely made the job a lot easier. So, but that's it, folks. So next week we've got Green Bay facing off against Tampa Bay. So we've got Tom versus Aaron. That's going to be a great game, and then we've got
Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
Bay battle.
Yeah, and
Bay
then
Blaze.
Yes, and then we've got the Bills of Buffalo facing Kansas City. Another awesome game. 2 really powerhouse AFC squads going at it. Next weekend's games are going to be fun. We're going to see what it all comes down to. See who's going to head to the Super Bowl here in Tampa Bay, and looking forward to it.
Thanks for tuning in to the NARP experiment. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and we will be producing 2 to 3 videos a week.
Continue to follow the channel for the hottest in sports content. We'll be coming at you guys with more stuff throughout the year. Thanks.
NARP, come watch, it's time, set the clock. Hitting like Ray off the block. Feel like MJ with the rock. Home run like Sammy Sosa. 2 clutch last period. Get ready, set, go. This a NARP experience. It's a NARP experience. This is a NARP experience. This is a NARP experience. This is a NARP experience.